Just yesterday, we were telling you about the urgent need for blood donations. The number we had a few days ago from one of the hospital officials was a 3-day blood supply looking forward for the entire state. And so we've been putting out the call here, but we really wanted to check in with the folks from Memorial Blood Center. So Corey Bianchi-Rossi is joining us now, the marketing manager. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so how would you describe the need for blood donations right now here in the Twin Cities?
Well, we have had a generous outpouring by our community, which has helped us because we declared the blood emergency on August 11th.
Okay.
And, the outpouring of the community, the help from, various news sources spreading the word has just been tremendous. And then when we are faced with the tragedy that just occurred, that creates a more demand for blood, that actually has caused a spike in people wanting to get involved, which we are, humbled and grateful for, and saying, hey, how can I help? Where can I do my part? And we have seen an increase in donations there as well. We're still coming on the tail end of the emergency. We're coming out of that. We're, at that 3 to 4 day supply as of just a couple of days ago. So we'll see where this takes us as we close out the month.
And for those of us who don't quite have the context of how much do you need and how far out do you need it, can you help us understand a little bit of the context here? What's a good, something you feel good about, like what's supply?
Yeah, we like to be between a 5 and 7 day inventory of blood supply. As people probably know, blood doesn't last forever, so it's a constant refresh that we need. So we need donors to be coming in on a routine basis. As a matter of fact, we need about somewhere close to 2,500 donors per week is what we try to aim for, to be able to supply the needs for our hospital so they can serve their patients and people in need of blood.
So would you say if somebody's watching this right now and they're asking themselves, well, should I do it now or should I maybe wait till next week? Because not everybody, but so many people are going to do it now. What would you say?
Yeah, that is a great question. And the answer is kind of a yes and, right? So, we love having people coming out and donating now. If you go onto our website at nbc.org is the best place to go to make an appointment. Please don't call a hospital. And, even if you call our offices, you're going to find it's going to be a little busy. Online, you can actually make an appointment for a donation very easily there. There's a button you can click. You can put in your zip code. It tells you the closest place to donate, whether it's a mobile drive or a donor center. And there you can donate, you can pick pretty far out in advance what works in your schedule. And you will probably find that some of those appointments in the near future are pretty full. So to answer your question a little better, I would say, anything that works in your calendar in the next 7, 10, 14 days out or even further would be great.
Okay. And then, of course, we always like to just remind people, like, who can donate? Do you want to let us know who can and who might be outside of the parameters there?
Yeah, well, there's about 65% of the population can donate. The truth of the matter is only 3% do. So we're always looking to bump that number up, So we encourage anyone who maybe hasn't donated before to give us a call or, make an appointment, come on in. And, there's a series of questions you have to answer to make sure that we want to keep the donor safe, and then B, want to keep the person receiving the transfusion safe. Yeah. So they'll check your hemoglobin, they'll check your iron levels, ask you a few questions that are pertinent as to whether you can and can't donate. And then from there, you will go into the actual room where your blood will be drawn. And it takes about an hour or so for that to happen. But, as far as answering the question, who can, there's quite a few people that can donate. And the only way to really find out if you've never done it before is to actually come on in and see if you're going to qualify.
Yeah. Is there an age limit as far as, you're too young or?
Yeah, you need to be 17,
okay.
And then you would have to have a parental note. 16 and a parental note for that. Once you're 17, you don't need a parental note.
Okay, awesome. And Memorial Blood Centers, I know I think I know from doing stories over the years, the blood supply, it stays local. Am I right in remembering that?
Yeah, we do supply the majority of our hospitals with the blood. So therefore, all the blood that comes in well, the majority will stay local, serving the needs of the patients that are close by. And we span all the way up to the Northland. We have a donor center in Duluth, Superior, Virginia. And then we have mobiles that go all the way up to International Falls. As a matter of fact, we just had a 3-day overnight mobile drive up there that I think they brought in close to 200 units of blood. An amazing outpouring of support from that community for sure. So we do supply the state as a whole, and the majority of hospitals are supplied by Memorial.
Really quickly, that you mentioned the mobile units. Will you do more of those? Because you know how people get busy, and sometimes if it just comes right to them, they'll do it.
That's awesome. I'm glad you brought that up. We do about 100 mobiles a month. Okay. And so there's quite a few, but there's room for growth in that area as well. And so if there's someone out there that says, hey, my company might be able to sponsor a drive, because a lot of companies can and do, it would be great to talk to the right person at your company, see if they were willing to do so, and then contact us. We have a whole department set up to help companies set up their drives. We could do a bus out front, or we could use a room actually in the facility to host a mobile drive there. And with schools starting up again, high schools and colleges, we do a lot of drives at high schools and colleges as well.
Yeah, we have them here as well, so very familiar with that. So thank you. MBC, M as in Mary, bc.org is the website. Right. And that's where you want to go if you can to make your appointment. Don't call the hospitals for sure. Don't call the hospitals. But go through you folks through mbc.org. Corey, thank you for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us on, and we're just so thankful for the outpouring of support, especially in the light of recent tragedies. Yeah. It's just been amazing, humbling, and we're just completely grateful for that.
Yeah, thank you. All right.